At this point, there's nobody on yet, so I'll
Oh,
wait a second or two before we do a little introduction, before we get into things, before people actually tune in. But before we do that, I will, hey, cheers to you, Santa, or whatever that may say right there.
chocolate chip mint beer.
No, thank you.
You don't know what you're missing.
Oh, believe me, I
I said you don't know what you're missing, you son of a bitch.
I don't like all the different goofy flavored beers and stuff. I'm not. Just give me a beer. I don't need flavors. You know what I mean? So, all right. Let's see. People are going to start coming on now. Let's welcome each and every one of you. And right now, there's one of you and us to tonight's Saturday night's main event recap for January 2025. My name is Bay Ragney, aka Chubby Dudley. And next to me is Hoshiman.
Santa Claus.
I don't know, have any idea how you figured out how to do that.
I'm magical, that's how.
That's it. That's it. Chink.
I
The
am
magic
one
touch.
magical son of a nutcracker.
There you go. So we're gonna run through tonight's show. The chat. All right, we're gonna walk through tonight's show. The chat is open for your questions, comments, and anything else. Um, the first 15, 20 minutes of the show, I was amongst two phone calls, so my attention span was a little half-ass. But the show started off, and we get an instant greeting from the $1 Million Man. I did not see that coming. I didn't know nothing about it.
Does it make you feel old when you see how just old he looked?
Yeah. I hate to say it. It's the first thing I said to myself when he got out. I said, "Oh, he got so old."
Yeah, I was me and Danny were sitting there and I was like, wow. he was like, yeah.
Meanwhile, you got two guys commentating on this that have grayer hair than the $1 Million Man.
And he could probably kick our butts too. That's
Yeah, exactly. And then we got into the new Okerlund. What are they calling this now? The Gene Okerlund podium, or the Okerlund position, where we had Jesse the Body Ventura, who's back, and this time he was wearing a Public Enemy hat, which I was a little surprised at.
After watching the first one, who thought it was a good idea to bring him back?
Now the real question is, be after watching the second one, who will think it's a good idea to bring him back?
Yeah, I just don't think he. Don't get me wrong, I love Jesse.
Yeah.
Hey,
it don't work.
No, he just doesn't get that it's a new.
Jay Bradbury back in the house, our star from the other night. Ventura likes to fight the power.
Did you miss a big return on?
I think he. Yeah, I don't know what power he thinks he's fighting now. That's the worst part.
you know, it's a be like on. That's one of those things. Like on paper, it could be a great idea. It's great for nostalgia. The good thing is they know just to give them little couple quick spots on the Okerlund position. They give him just one match.
Yeah.
Otherwise, It's way too much. I mean, what they're giving us already is minimal, and it's way too much. And I feel bad because I love Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he needs to be in like the Hogan position where he just pops up and gets a quick blurb and maybe introduces the show in the beginning,
Yeah.
goes over the matches, and then kind of that's it.
Yeah, like. But then at that point, is it a slap in the face?
I
And
mean,
would Jesse just go for that? Because I think he would be pretty pissed off.
what's he gonna do? Leave?
Or does he just collect the paycheck? Oh, look at this. Kathy Fitz, what's up, my dear? She says, I agree he should go.
I don't think he should go. I just think that they may want to lessen what they got him doing.
If they lessen him any more, he's going to be in the parking lot, collecting parking fees.
I mean, like I said, just maybe have him do, the just the intro and all. I don't know.
Yeah, it's even the intro was rough.
Yeah. I just, no offense. I just think he just doesn't. And then again, you know what? After the last show, why not have somebody explain it to him or work with him?
Do you okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it's just that Jesse is just so old school, it just doesn't work with today's style, brand, etc.? Is he just too old for the product? Like,
I just he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the Okerlund or the second like he used to work off of.
Okay.
I mean, listen to the announcers today. They really don't work off of each other.
They suck.
They spend more time trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
It's not like an ebb and flow.
Well, here's the thing too, and I was thinking this in my head, and Michelle just said, I always say less is more, and he wants people to call him Governor Ventura. I love him, but he's not 1986 anymore. And I was literally just saying to myself in my head, his shtick from 40 years ago, it don't work today. And I think that goes along with exactly what you were saying, Santa, that the announcers, it don't work with because it just doesn't flow. There's no Okerlund to play off of. And, these guys, they're just not. I think that's a big part of the problem too. McAfee and Cole it doesn't go.
I think with a little work, McAfee can work with him. But Cole's never kind of experienced that style. And I'm not saying that McAfee's better. It's just when you have a guy like McAfee who hasn't done it full time, he's kind of easier to adjust. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, no offense. It's just I just think he needs that Gorilla Monsoon to play off of, and he just doesn't have it.
I agree. So Jay says, I feel as though Dory Funk Jr. sitting in the crowd tonight was more in touch with the product than Jesse was on the call. And then that's another one. I was shocked as hell to see Dory Funk Jr. there.
Yeah, I heard that he got a beer, and when the guy handed him the beer, his wife jumped up and charged the guy $400.
And there's my boy Chris. Let's go, go, go.
I wonder what she gouged the WWE for that appearance.
The worst part is she probably thought she was gouging, and they were already going to pay it, so it doesn't matter.
Oh no, she agreed to a price and then before they went on air, tripled it. Have you ever dealt with her?
I remember her from back in the day. She actually here's the way we can explain. She got along with my ex-wife. Need I say any more? Exactly. Tim Mendeville, what's up, brother? Tim's in the house. All right, so first match of the night. Now I'm going to say again. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with. I gotta say, I was on the phone with Johnny Hotbody and his wife Erica for over 2 hours. Yeah, it was a hell of a call. A lot of laughs.
Speaking about a touch with reality,
Johnny might hit you for that one, but it's always interesting talking to Hotbody.
I love Johnny.
Eye-opening conversation. Love the guy, and
always a character.
Get your Barry Wang ready for May 3rd. That's all I'm going to say. And then my next phone call was the one and only promoter of Bell to Bell, Missy Sampson. Had a really nice conversation with Missy.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was talking to Missy and Johnny, match number 1 was going on, and I was trying to really focus and pay attention. Nia Jax taking on Rhea Ripley, and from what I can tell, and I was watching and paying attention. I'm going to say on a 50% radar. It might be the best match I've seen Nia Jax in yet.
I will agree with you 110%. Rhea made her look like $1 million. I actually sat there and thought that.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to go back and watch it because I want to really focus on it.
Rhea, that was the first time, because you know how I feel about Nia Jax, and Rhea put in the work to make her
totally
look good. And you could see Rhea. Man, you better call Rhea Ripley forklift because she carried that match.
Not only that, but something else I will think helped make this match what it was. It was a quick match. They didn't drag it out.
And I think that's where she literally probably just hit the point on Nia Jax's matches. But here's the problem. And again, their booking drives me nuts.
Their booking, I hate it tonight.
You spent all this time making her into this monster, killing everybody. You bring her over to the new show, and again, if it's, it gets her out of the title picture, I'm happy. But at the same point, you have her do the clean job.
What sense?
You just ended the feud. There's no place to go with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, if I was them, though, I would move her into the tag division. Kind of what they did with Andre in his later life with
that's
Haku.
what I was thinking with who's the girl that's always by her side now? It's Candice.
Oh, Candice, right? Ugh.
Yeah. But she's a tiny girl that could take all the bumps and heat now.
Her and her husband could cure insomnia.
Who's her husband?
Johnny Gargano. The other one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions with Tommaso Chomp Chomp.
Oh.
DIY.
Okay. What a
yeah.
name.
Good workers, but they got the charisma of a snail.
Their tag team category is really hurting.
You know what's the worst part is? Those guys can go and put on entertaining matches, but they just don't generate any excitement.
Yeah.
Like they brought in the Motor City Machine Guns and
Jay says they did it with Yokozuna as well. Stick her in a tag and let her float or sink.
Oh, that's not right comparing her to Yokozuna. Yoko was a lot better.
Well, and comparing float or sink is kind of like just saying a piece of shit.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, at this point, that's where I'd be putting her. I think he'd be better off, you know. But yeah, getting back, Rhea looked fantastic. Rhea's got star written all over her.
Absolutely.
I mean, not that she's not a star, but she basically just showed you why she is the woman.
Yeah. She is she's the number one. I think her and Liv are number one.
I'm curious to see what they do with her for Mania.
I'm curious to see what the hell they do with everybody right now for Mania.
Yeah, because unless they plan on having Charlotte win it, and then her and Charlotte, I don't see anything else drawing any interest.
I mean, now I didn't see SmackDown. Did Charlotte actually physically come back last night, or was it a vignette?
Yeah. Well, I missed it. I just know she did announce that she's in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, let me. Would you have not announced it and let it been a surprise?
I mean, it wouldn't have really been a surprise because everyone knew she was coming back. But yeah, I just. Again, getting back to the Rumble, half the fun is when somebody comes out you don't expect.
Right.
Like a couple years ago, they had Mickie James come back.
Right.
But they announced it.
I've heard she might be back this year again.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Nick Aldis's wife, so. But what killed me was like, why announce it? That would have got a bigger problem. Now, last year, they had Jordy Lynn Grace come out.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knew it.
Yeah.
And that was a huge, like, oh, wow. Because basically you just had someone from another federation and their champion come out. And she did great in the Battle Royal. So I let the surprises, man. You don't need to announce everything.
Royal Rumble is built around the surprise. Jeremy Cornity is a surprise. He's in the house. What's up, brother?
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I have no problems with this match from beginning to end. I thought Rhea put the work in, made her look good, and man, she showed you just how much of a beast she is too, with the power moves and getting her up. Although I will say, when she had Rhea up for the power bomb, and the way Nia took I was just like, take a bump, you lazy.
All right. I'm gonna ask at the end of the night. If I don't want your answer now, but I'm gonna ask you at the end of the night, was that match of the night? So you think about that. I can tell by your facial expressions already. But next up, we had Sheamus versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. You got the kitty cat who does the high five fist bump.
Parents by Shitty Kitty.
Shitty kitty in the house, in the hitty. Yep, just ignoring you. All right. So, this match kind of pissed me off.
Okay. Why did it piss you off?
Because I expected more.
See, I'm going to say, why did you expect more? You've seen this match several times.
I've seen it, but I thought this was the worst of the few that we've seen several times. We had a couple pops during the match, one being on the outside Breaker with that spear as Sheamus was coming up the steps, which was amazing.
What's up? Did you think when I first saw that, I thought he clocked his head on the steps, the way they went to and I was like, oh my. And then when they showed the overhead, you seen he just barely missed it. That was a dangerous spot.
Yeah. And even more dangerous spot was probably McAfee jumping out of his seat, popping for it.
Yeah, I mean, I like both these guys, but I don't know what it is about Steiner. He just doesn't click.
No, I agree.
Well, not that he's, and it's not that he can't work. He can work, and his stuff looks phenomenal. I mean, that dude. When they say he runs around the ring at 23 miles an hour, I believe it.
See, and that's the thing. Like, and even Sheamus, giving Sheamus some credit.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice, hard-hitting match, and I'm not talking about punches or being stiff, but their moves are really hard-hitting.
You believe it. You believe what you're
watching.
Very
believable.
Mm-hmm.
Where I have a problem is, what was the lead up to the actual finish of the Breaker wins with the spear? But before that, it was like, oh shit. And they did this twice tonight. Fucking twice. And it pissed me off in this match, and I think it was the Gunther match, where it was the Gunther match, where you have the face basically getting these 2 3/4 counts, and you're like, damn, he's going to go over. He's going to go over. And then the heel champion comes back with a lame finish of just doing their finisher, like here, the spear. He did this massive spear on the outside that looked devastating, and in the ring he does the spear that looked half-assed, not as devastating, and he gets a 3 count. It don't work for me. It just doesn't work.
So this is something I'm going to go back to when I was promoting. I don't know if you remember, one of my rules was I wanted to know your finisher because no one else was going to do it, and I better not see it. You know,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
And that's the problem. He does the spear. Uso does the spear. Roman Reigns does the spear. Simba does the spear.
I mean, if you take the finish of the Sheamus Breaker match and the finish of the Gunther Uso match, it was basically the same scenario.
Yeah, it's just there's no oomph behind it. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again. Breaker needs a manager.
I agree.
He should be a Paul Heyman guy.
Is he a face or a heel?
They can't figure it out.
No.
And it's a guy that I know they want to put a lot behind. But, you know, I think he would benefit from some guidance. He would benefit from maybe taking us. I think he's one of them people, like, and he's not as bad as she is, but like Jade Cargill.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Where they just don't want to admit that maybe they're pushing too much too soon.
There's still something. We could do a whole show on this whole Jade Cargill thing because there's so much more to what the hell's going on than what is going on.
No, there's not. She sucks.
Well, yeah, but
plain and simple.
Was she really hurt, or was it just a lie to send her back to the treatment center, which I heard she's been at?
She was horrible. She like, I don't know. And again, this is where I question, because everyone says, oh, well, you know, that's a great signing. She's a star. I'll be honest. If you're only a star if WWE wants you to be a star.
Correct.
Who else was going to sign her?
Yeah.
She's not going to move the needle. Like I say about Kevin Owens. If Kevin Owens leaves tomorrow, it ain't going to affect the ratings. If he goes over to AEW, they're going to get a tiny boost for a week or two.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be nothing. He's not a big a star as they think he is. Now,
he's a star in WWE because it's WWE.
Exactly. And that's the same thing with her and with some of these other guys. And they just sometimes don't seem like they could admit when, you know, we got to take a step back.
Right.
But again, I just think he needs a manager, man.
I agree.
He needs somebody out there with him, because I liked him in NXT and I was looking forward to him getting his call up. But now that he gets the call up, he's like my new Kevin Owens, man. I just want to fast forward through it.
Yeah. How about, and this is my personal feeling, do you think they gave him the belt too early?
It's such a hard, because he was down in NXT for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I still can't place my thumb on what he's missing.
Well, I think you're 1,000% correct. He needs a manager because he can't really talk. And that was something the Steiners were never really good at. Scott got a personality towards the end of his career.
Did you hear McAfee ripping on Scott though, with the 33 1/3 comment?
Wait, what happened?
Did you ever see the Scott Steiner promo where he was doing the math?
No.
Oh, dude, I'll have to send it to you. It's one of the most famous things you'll ever see. He literally went into this whole tirade on TNA, and he did mathematics that would have made any Philadelphia public school teacher proud. To basically where he said he puts out 133% of a third in everything he does. But the way he did the math was just, and they were kind of ripping on the promo, which when I send you the promo, it'll make sense. Yeah. But that's why I like McAfee too. He's a historian.
Let me say, Jay says again, and this is absolute truth. Reggie White spear on the outside, third string JV spear on the inside for the win.
Yeah. It's again, it's writers, man.
Okay, so we both are in agreement, it seems like, that he needs a manager.
He needs somebody out there, yeah.
Now, here's a question to contemplate. And I don't even know if there's any of these out there anymore because they're all in the ring. But would a female manager work?
No. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, in NXT, they put him with Baron Corbin.
Okay.
In a tag team. And maybe that's where they should move him to a little bit. Maybe get somebody like a Sheamus who, or like a Drew McIntyre. Put them two in a tag team where McIntyre can kind of show him. Because now that I think about it, he's kind of where McIntyre was when McIntyre left the first time. Where, like, he was the golden boy, but he just wasn't clicking. So you put him in a killer tag team with McIntyre and kind of have McIntyre be that anchor and that guiding light he needs. You know?
How about this? How about have Uncle Scott come out and be the manager?
No. Scott still doesn't get it.
There's a rumor we might see Scott Steiner in the Rumble.
Please no. That's hold on, let me take a drink on that one.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard that one, I was like, eek. I did a signing a couple months ago, and Rick and Scott were there, and just, you know, when I do these signings, and you watch all of us, especially those guys, more so because they've done a lot more than me, like cripply walk to the ring like paraplegics. Like,
oh yeah.
No offense to Scott Steiner. I mean, at one time he was one of the top on the scene out there, but he should not be getting into the Rumble.
No. That's a waste of a spot and a surprise.
Kyle Thomas in the hizzy. Why is Frank Cody in Japanese? That's not Frank Cody. That's Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
No, that's not how you do. That's offensive what you just did.
Is it?
Yeah, apologize.
I apologize.
Yeah, all our Japanese fans out there, I'm sorry. It is Santa Claus.
Like that's not offensive.
No, that's how you pronounce it. You racist.
So, in other words, you're saying by 11 o'clock we will be canceled.
You will be.
Could be. It's very possible. So, all right, next up, we had the big contract signing. They brought out Shawn Michaels because it seems like Shawn Michaels was the only person in the WWE that could get this done.
Yep. My man, Kevin Bathroom Break Owens.
Nice entrance by Shawn Michaels to his hometown crowd, which you notice every televised show they do, whoever hometown crowd it is, even if you're not on the main roster, you will have a spot that night.
Yeah, truthfully. I mean, Michaels is always a pop, man. You know, everybody likes Shawn.
Of course.
I am just not a Kevin Owens fan.
I honestly enjoy Kevin Owens' work in the ring and his mic work in this whole, especially this whole thing with Cody.
I just don't enjoy a dude that looks like he should be working at a car wash.
No apologies needed, Kyle. And yo, he's here. Happy birthday to our brother Gianni. Hey, Gianni will be there May 3rd, WrestleCon and One and Done, and he gets to meet Santa Claus.
I'm not giving him a free autograph.
There you go.
No, I said I'm not.
Bring the Santa. Gianni is the belt guy, so bring your Santa belt.
I had people asking me about that today. I was at a thing for some Santa Claus stuff, and I had people asking about the Santa wrestling belt today.
So naturally, when there is a contract signing, you're going to see some type of confrontation.
Of course.
Of course. I will have to say this might be one of the worst confrontations I've seen. It didn't work.
No. Well, again, these are two guys where you've already seen them do everything. You know Owens is not going into WrestleMania as the champ. There's just nothing to like hang your hat on with this match, with this feud.
I felt before they even threw any punches or super kicks, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
the promo spot was more valuable without even touching.
Oh, I always believe that.
And they ruined the whole segment because they had to get the Shawn Michaels super kick in. And that's what that whole segment was built around, Shawn Michaels super kick in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah, which I don't know why.
Yeah. Is it going to add any importance to the ladder match next week at the Rumble? No. Exactly. It was they were trying to go for a hometown pop.
I never, for the life of me, understand the whole back in the day when the Four Horsemen would attack somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They would attack them, get out of there. Attack them, get out of there. Attack. You never seen them, very rarely ever look bad before the big confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is made to look bad before the big confrontation, it takes away all meaning. Like, as many times as I've watched, like, take Gunther, for example. Every time you watch him, you know, you're watching him get back down, get his ass handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
So when the match comes out, you're just like, you don't see the comeuppance that used to keep you interested. You know, it's just the whole story building. They just don't build them up, man. They do these things like there's no. If anything, he should have flattened. He should have laid Michaels out and laid out Cody and did it with a ladder.
That bingo. You just hit the trifecta of what they should have did. In other words, you had the heel get powdered on the outside by the retired guy just because you wanted a hometown pop. You just destroyed the whole thing, which was kind of stupid because there was rumors when they first started this whole thing with Kevin Owens with the Wing Eagle belt of him defending that belt. They should have did something with that where he now is the champion and makes every one of his matches for that belt and build up some heat with that. But they're going to bury this whole thing next week, whatever it is, just so they can skip over whatever and get to WrestleMania.
It's the filler for his for the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble match.
Right.
But does anyone really care at this point?
Well, you know what? It's the filler because they're making it the filler. I don't think it has to be the filler. I think this could be a main event, a true main event.
See, I don't, because like I said, I don't think he generates any interest from a lot of people. Your smart wrestling fans will be a fan of Kevin Owens. But I always said, when someone turns on wrestling, I look at the fan like someone like my brother who just watches it if I'm watching it.
Right.
If he looks at it and goes, "Oh, look at this," that tells me something. But when you turn it on and you see a guy like Owens and like, is this guy supposed to be a wrestler?
Right.
Like, literally, if you turned it on and saw him standing in the ring, the way he looks and the way he dresses, does that guy scream main event to you?
No.
Exactly. And then you see too much. Like, the confrontations every week. Like, whatever happened to not making contact until the matches?
Mm-hmm.
There's just no oomph behind that match, man. And that, honestly, getting back to the point, that's why I don't think there was any oomph behind the promo. So that's just me.
All right, let me ask you, do you think there's going to be oomph behind the match?
No, it's just going to be them trying to do a couple highlight spots with the ladder and oh my goodness spots. But I don't see like that match being like as big as they're building it up in their heads. And it's the Rumble, so that's what the
true star of the show is.
Yeah, and now that you have two Rumbles, everything else is just like the garnish. And then I may have just answered my own question.
Jeremy says, I will be at 2 and Done on June 3rd for sure. Well, Jeremy, I won't. Gianni, you have to pay me for my autograph, Santa.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Contract signings and weddings. Good point. In wrestling, go hand in hand. They don't go well.
Yeah, the whole contract signing thing, I think it's played out at this point.
I can't wait for May 3rd. Raise the effing banner. Please sign a petition. How many more do we need, Bay? That's a good question. And I need to email and have contact with somebody, because going into Saturday night's main event, we were at 8:44. And during the show, I checked on my phone and I refreshed. And then we were at 8:29. We lost votes.
Yeah, I withdrew all my votes.
Well, I don't understand how that happens. And I just looked right now, and now we're back at 8:31. So I need to contact somebody at change.org and find out what the fuck is going on.
Gremlins.
Yeah. I even made sure to take pictures of it, so I had the proof. So yeah, so there you go. And also, let's say they need to let Owens be like he was in Ring of Honor. That was money.
Yes, I agree. They do need to let Owens be like he was in Ring of Honor, not on TV.
And Jay says HBK did move fast in the ring, putting his cowboy hat back on, so people couldn't get a good picture of his hair, or lack of hair. You mean? Even though his hat was all bent out of whack.
Yeah.
Magic Mike is in the house now. What's up, brother?
You know what drives me nuts? I hate Peacock because once the show's over, they never have the replay ready. Because
what do you got? Do you have to wait till tomorrow to see the replay, or
I don't know? They take forever to get it up, and it just drives me nuts. Because
is that what you're clicking?
Yeah, because like on Monday, I like having it in the background to kind of see if there's anything we missed,
right?
And we go over, but like it isn't up yet, and it's like that's why I really like Netflix, because Netflix lets you watch it immediately, so we can kind of see some of the matches.
Magic Mike says, "I love when Owens said Santa lost his smile."
Hey, Mike, shut up.
All right, now the next match: Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Now, going into this, naturally,
I love you, Jacob Fatu.
I said to myself, this is going to be the match where they are going to worry about just putting over Jacob as this amazingly killer heel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first question I got to ask is, and it just doesn't make sense to me, and it was noticeable in the entrances. Why did they have Braun Strowman come out first as the face?
I don't know. I just think they don't think of stuff like that.
It's a little minor detail like that is so important.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, that's just classic, true, old school fucking booking.
Mm-hmm.
And they get it wrong.
They get a lot wrong. We've discussed this.
Yeah. Obviously.
I like this match. I really can't understand why they have such a hard time doing anything with Braun Strowman. I mean, barring his injuries, because I know he has been injured a few times.
Okay.
But like, you literally have a guy that's almost 7 foot, built fantastic, can work. The crowd's in him, and yet you can't figure out what to do with him.
Well, his whole job tonight was basically to be a sacrificial lamb for Fatu.
Which I can see if done right. I mean,
do you think they did it right?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Because, again, we'll go back to the Nia Jax thing. You build them up, build them up, build them up. And it's like Jenga. You have this tall house, and then all of a sudden you pull the very bottom one off, and it just collapses. Mm-hmm. Why? You can have someone lose and keep them strong.
Exactly.
That is a dude who should never look weak. I mean,
jobbed him out tonight.
They did. They did, and they have a couple times, and I don't understand why. It used to drive me nuts when they used to do that with the Big Show. Like, why are you jobbing this guy out?
You know what drove me nuts about it? If you were going to job out a guy the size of Braun Strowman, and you're going to have him job out to the ass to the head in the corner, make it fucking connect. I counted 8 fucking times Jacob ran to the corner, and go back and watch the replay when it's up there. All 8 fucking times he ran in the corner to smash him with his ass, he didn't connect on one. Not one. And then you have whatever the fake blood because that was fake, absolute fake blood.
Yeah,
and it looked ridiculous.
And that's not the. I'm trying to remember. They did that recently with something with fake blood, and I was just like, oh man, that's why are we using fake blood? Right. I would rather you just don't do anything. Yeah. And again, you could have had these guys have a competitive match and still got Jacob over.
Agreed. Totally agree.
But now here's my thing. I don't know where they're going with Jacob.
I don't think they did. Again, we say this all the time. I don't think they know where they're going with him.
Yeah.
I think they know they want him to be this heel, but they don't know how to go about it.
Yeah. So my prediction, and mark this in your notebook, is that he has a strong, and I mean strong, showing at the Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
I don't think he's going to win it because I don't think he's at that point yet.
No, not at all.
And there's just no money in him versus Cody.
I bet you he's in there for a good 40, 45 minutes.
I think he's going to have what I call the Kevin Nash and the Kane moment, where he's just going to be launching people at some point and doing some, and that's a great way to get him over. And then again, you got the Rumble next week, and you basically just took out a guy that is made for the Rumble in Strowman.
Gianni says, I forgot Strowman was still in WWE.
So do the writers, I think, sometimes.
Magic Mike says, Job Fest?
Yeah, it really was, man, and I just don't get it.
Gianni says they need to book him like they booked Andre and Big Show.
Gianni, I'm going to stop you right there. The Andre thing you're correct with, but even Big Show, this is the same stuff they used to do to him.
Yeah.
Where they, build him up as a monster and he'll come out and kill people, and then all of a sudden it's like, he just shouldn't have been jobbed like that. I don't, is he just collecting a paycheck at this point?
Magic Mike says he would job out Santa. Your facial expression when it clicked what he said, it was hysterical. Michelle says they make Braun Strowman look so stupid, and this match could have been a lot better. Absolutely.
I agree, and it's a shame, man, because I really like that dude, and I just don't know what he did to make somebody angry, or how they don't see the potential. Like I said, the guy's got it all, man. He's got the size, the look. He's a guy that, if you got a heel Jacob, you want to see Strowman come in there.
Mm-hmm.
yes, you could still have him lose, but you don't have to have him just like squash. Because now it's like, well, if he can't beat or even have a competitive match with Jacob, who's he going to have a competitive match with on that upper level now?
Jay says he's just happy this isn't mid 2000s. The writing team would literally have him as a Samoan werewolf.
I would so pop if he came out in a werewolf costume. I love you, Moon. Woo!
You know what? You know, I maybe I'm crazy in thinking this, but I think at this stage of the game, because the whole tribal thing with Samoa Solo's family or whatever you want to call it is obviously come to an end. Yeah. I think if they turned Jacob face, he'd be more over as a face at this point than a heel.
So I agree, but don't agree. I think that is a great way for him to go, but not yet. Have him run as the heel for a little longer. Maybe until like SummerSlam.
Okay.
And then have him turn face on somebody. And he will have a phenomenal face run going into the main event season of next year.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be more over as a face than he is as a heel.
Yeah, just keep him going on the track they got him. Killing people, doing this and that. And then at some point you just have him. But then are they going to start writing him like they did Braun Strowman and just, start squashing him out?
Yeah. And can we just one more time go back to this fake blood situation? Please stop. What are you doing? Stop with that.
You can script an injury without the blood.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. And getting back, man, what self-respecting old school worker. I don't want to say the names, but I remember back in the day, there were two guys on the indies that refused to bleed. So they used blood capsules.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember everybody like, boy, did they not let them forget.
Yeah, totally. So, all right, so last match of the night, the main event, Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Santa. You going to eat with me yet? I take that as a no. Takes on your world heavyweight. What is it? The Undisputed or whatever?
I don't know that whole thing with the two belts.
So stupid. It drives me freaking insane. I hate it. But anyway, your world champion Gunther takes on main event Jey Uso, and I honestly felt, and I think I said this after our Raw recap the other night. I felt Jey Uso should have been given the belt for a quick run. Quick. Like a Kerry Von Erich run.
So here's the problem with this feud. Way too much contact between them two before they got to this match.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like there wasn't, again, that chemistry.
Agreed.
I know he's over, but there's just something about Jey where he keeps falling short.
Well, because 3/4 of his repertoire is a super kick.
I don't even know if that's it. It's just he just doesn't click on some level, and I can't put my finger on it. He's I want to say he's like Tito Santana. Speaking of Jesse Ventura, and he's there, but he can't get over the fence.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's something that really, speaking of being there, something that really, really rubbed me wrong tonight with this match too.
Mm-hmm.
As Jay did his, couple nice finishers and got 2 3/4 counts,
Mm-hmm.
you saw as he was starting to get up, you saw Gunther hollering the spot over to take it home to Jay, and then all of a sudden it's like, uh, Jay does his top rope splash.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther kicks out, hollers over to the spot to take it home, and we get this Lane Gunther finish 1 2 3 with the power bomb. It was like, no, he just did a power bomb 3 minutes ago that Jay kicked out of, and now he's doing a power bomb again, and now he's getting a 3 count.
Yeah, I don't. I got nothing on that one.
Yeah, it was like the other match earlier. It was the same type of finish setup.
There was a WCW pay-per-view once, and before the pay-per-view, Hogan and the Big Show were fighting on a roof, and Hogan threw him off the roof of the building, and he survived to come back for the match. But then Hogan pinned him with the leg drop.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's like, dude, you just
that's prime example. Prime example.
And that's kind of what this was. It's like, and then like earlier in the match, you had like Jay power bombing Gunther, and it's like the power bomb that Jay did, where I don't know, do you remember when he grabbed them from the corner? Yeah. And then sat down with them.
Mm-hmm.
Looked 1,000 times better than what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my problem with doing the same thing in the match. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
No, it's definitely not. It just takes away. Like I said, I don't know what it is with Jay. He is over as anything. But he puts on good matches, but nothing about him is memorable.
Yeah,
I think half the problem with Jay's moveset is it's the same moveset that 50 other people are doing.
Yeah,
like. He does a super kick after super kick. So does Owens. So does Jimmy Uso. So does every Samoan. He does the spear. So does... How many other guys do the spear now?
Yeah. Half the roster.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, the only one that probably should be doing the spear is Braun Breaker.
Now, what's going to happen when Goldberg makes his return? They're going to stop everybody from doing a spear?
They should stop him from doing a return.
Exactly. Johnny said, and I agree 100%. This is exactly what they should have did. They should have given the belt and then lost it back to Gunther at Royal Rumble.
See, I don't agree with that because then you lose all momentum going into
Mania?
Mania, yeah, for Gunther. Gunther, I don't understand where this lull in his booking is coming from.
Yeah. Good
Because
question.
they had him going strong, and I thought for a while there they were going to turn him face, which I actually liked. That they were going to go that route with him, and then now they kind of got him going solo, but it's almost like so they finally put up the replay, and I got that match playing in the background.
Okay.
And I just watched his spirit. Oh my goodness, was that awful? He literally bounced off of Gunther.
Jay says this is about you were saying about the Hogan throwing him off the building or whatever. He survived the fall to come to the ring with a fish in his tights, and the Yeti debuted at the end of Halloween Havoc '95.
But my point is you threw the man off the building and he can't survive the leg drop. You know?
That's WWE for you with what Gunther did.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I just think that they had him going so strong, and I think they should have just had him going that straight to Mania. And then if you were going to have somebody beat him, that's where you do it. Because I was actually looking forward to him at Mania. But they've kind of made me lose interest in him, which is weird because I've been a Gunther guy before he was Gunther.
Magic Mike says it was Halloween Havoc '95, the monster truck battle. Is that when Medusa started driving monster trucks for the first time?
I don't even remember. That it was so bad back then.
Michelle says Bay Yeet's better than Michael Cole.
Well,
Come on, stand it. Yeet with me.
No, I'm not yeeting. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't really say that the match was bad, but it was definitely flat. You know?
I agree. I think the whole show was flat except for the opening match.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how they have a card like this and it just comes out like that.
I think match of the night was Nia and Rhea. The rest of the show was flat, and the booking overall sucked.
Yeah, well, the booking I agree with.
Here we go. I'll just say this. Magic Mike says he loved the show. Enough said.
He just loved the show because what's her name was on it? Nia Jax. Rhea definitely the star of the show.
Yeah.
She just like exudes like that is what a champion should be, man. You just look forward to, and up until like recently, I did that with Gunther, man. I was really excited to see. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I was really excited to see who they pair him with. But the way they built up to this feud, even if I'm like excited to see who they pair him with, I just don't have the faith in them anymore to like execute it.
Let me pop this up real quick. Jay says, felt like a superstars on Saturday morning.
I got to agree with him. It did. Yeah. It did. And it really shouldn't.
Jeremy says, I want a fish in my tights.
More power to you, Jeremy. More power to you. Yeah, it's a shame. You know, we come on here and I don't want to feel like I'm crapping on the product. But at the same point, I really just wish there was more consistency with the product and like a general direction. Yeah, I think that just sums it up. That match felt to me like they had no direction. They had no plan. Like they built up to it, and then they just did it, and they're like, "Oh, now what do we do?"
Well, how about we're 1 week away from the Royal Rumble, and I felt like tonight's show did nothing at all to build up to it.
No, that's the thing. I don't think they've done anything to build up to the Rumble.
Tonight was just kind of an over glorified house show.
I think they've gotten lazy with the Rumble because they know the Rumble itself carries it.
Yeah.
But there's just no, like, they had a couple people declare they're going to be in the Rumble.
Which is stupid.
Not really, because like it builds a little interest. Because on the men's side, you got Roman Reigns is going to be in there. You got CM Punk's going to be in there.
But like we knew, like come on.
I know, but at the same point, it builds you up. That does build up interest, and then the surprises are what'll keep it going. But again, who wins and who goes against who?
Well, how about Magic Mike says, "Hey, how about seeing all those legends tonight?" Ho!
The legends once in a while is a great thing, but when you're doing it, like,
Well, how about this? And I mentioned Scott Steiner rumor going to be in the Rumble. How about also too possibility of Flair and Duggan? Heard those as well.
Flair is not going to be in the Rumble.
Speaking of Flair, he will be, though, at WrestleCon May 3rd at the 2300 Arena. Go to 2300arena.com to get your tickets, and make sure you get your tickets for One and Done that night, as myself, Santa Claus will be there, and many, many others.
Is this any special anniversary year for the Rumble? I don't think so.
Is it 30th anniversary, maybe?
If it's a 30th, then I can see Duggan being in there. Or at least making an appearance. Since he was the winner of the first one.
The first? Nah. Was it? The first Royal Rumble was 88. So it's
not the 30th. It's not even the...
That's like 37 years.
Yeah, so I don't see him doing anything. Like I said, I don't see Steiner coming out either. Them guys are just too old, and they'll kind of drag it down.
Gianni says, I'm guessing he means the Cooker. I'd love to know what the Cooker's opinion is on the show the WWE produces tonight. I would as well. Usually Cooker's on here commenting, but obviously he's not tonight, which sucks.
He would have said the punches sucked.
Oh, without a doubt. Nothing like his. I think they got lazy, period. Not just with the Rumble. They're making sure to get their money's worth on those Legends contracts. Hey, you know what, though? It's good. It's a good deal for the Legends, and it's a nice little touch. I think they're doing it in a great way. I totally am all for what they're doing.
You know what I'd really love them to do with these Legends contracts? Maybe pull these guys into a booking meeting and let them tell them how to get the product over again.
The worst part is, you got, in all reality, the product's just over. It doesn't matter.
It is, but at the same point, it just doesn't generate the interest like it used to.
I think it's generating more interest than you realize.
No, it's not. I mean, it's out there. The numbers are out there. I just I don't know what it's missing, man. It's just not got that magic, man.
Tonight, there was really no magic for me.
No.
I think overall, okay, out of 5 stars, I give tonight's show 2 stars.
I'd go the same. I think Nia and Rhea, and it's mostly because of Rhea, were matching tonight.
Agreed.
Them two seem to be the only ones that even clicked tonight. I thought that just as on a quick match by match, I think that Breaker and Sheamus wasn't even its usual.
No.
That just missed its mark.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we said the Braun Strowman thing was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gunther match was an okay match, but it didn't feel like a title match.
No.
You know what that match felt like? When Flair would make the once in a while appearance on Saturday night against a mid-carder, to where you knew, you had hope that something was going to happen, but you knew in the end he was going to win.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it had to me. And that's, I just, they're building up these Saturday night's main event to be something special, but I think both of them have just been flat.
Well, how about this? The first Saturday night's main event a month and a half ago, and even the first Raw on Netflix 4 weeks ago now, were these big, high-profile, prestigious things, and they instantly, I feel like, cheapened the quality of the show. Week 2 and on.
But did they? Or did they just go back to what the show has always been?
Right. Well, they brought it back down to...
It's like you go to McDonald's
and
you get a double cheeseburger. And then the next week you go and you get that double cheeseburger. And then the third week someone throws some bacon on that double cheeseburger for you. Then you go back the fourth week and there's no bacon. Was it really elevated, or has it just been they just put the little bit of bacon on those shows?
I think they put a lot of bacon on those shows, and then
it just went back to being the and that's the problem with that stuff, because you get, and I'll tell you, I was disappointed in the Netflix. I thought it didn't live up to the hype that they were putting. This is the product. I mean, it can be a lot better than what it is. I just think these writers just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
They don't have there's no vision. There's no oomph to like, where are they going with everything?
Yeah.
And that's where I think they're lacking. They need to have vision. They need to have some focus, and I think that would bring the product up a lot better. Rock in the Rumble, yeah, I'd agree. I think that's going to happen. So I'll tell you, that's kind of why I think the Rumble this year is going to be pretty interesting. You got The Rock, you got Cena, you got Reigns, you got CM Punk. Those names alone, make it pretty, because it makes it interesting, because I honestly don't know who's going to win this year.
Yeah.
Usually most years I can pick the winner. They can go like in 9 different directions with it this year. I like that. I like that, and I'm hoping that the Rumble itself doesn't disappoint. And with, like I said, the recent TNA collaboration, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing a couple of their guys pop up in there.
Well, Gianni says, "Preach, Santa, preach." I totally agree with you. And Jay says, "How many TNA guys do you think we will see in the Rumble, if any?"
So if they're smart, they better say his name and he will appear. Because, Joe Hendry, you want to hear that the roof come off of that place?
Yeah.
If that, I love that theme song is. If that pops up on the screen, I guarantee you the pop for that will be bigger than any WWE star outside of like your super main event guys. So I definitely think you may see him. You may see Ziggler, because he was maybe Matt Cardona. But other than that, I can't see. I think you'll see more of the women, the TNA women than the men.
Right.
But for me, definitely Hendry. I'm just thinking of who would make like an impact. Ziggler, because he was former WWE. Cardona, because he's pretty well known. Other than that, I can't see any of their guys coming in there and making any kind of noise. For the women, I definitely think you're going to see Grace, because I think her contract with TNA is up, and they'd be a fool not to sign her.
Gianni says that's the problem. Wrestling needs bookers, not writers. They need bookers like me, who have experience in the game.
Really, Gianni? I just booked a whole show and you agreed with me. Anyway.
I believe in Santa Kringle, Mr. Hall of Fame.
There you go. And you know what? I've been saying that for years. Writers just, they don't get it, man. They don't get it. And which I don't understand, like how these guys can watch wrestling or go back in time and see what was over and not follow the formula, man. It's not like this is something new. It's not like this is just something that's happening out of the blue. They're you had wrestling for the last it's been on TV since the 50s. There's a formula there. How you yeah, I get it. You want to reinvent the wheel, but if that wheel doesn't get the cart to the end of the block, man, it's not any good. And that's kind of where they're at, man. They're just not getting it out of the gate anymore.
Exactly. Well, on that note, I'm ready to wrap it up. If you have anything else you want to add, Santa?
No, but I guess we'll be doing this next week after the Rumble.
We will, and Monday night after Raw?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. I'll try. I have I have a lot of lawyer meetings next week.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not being sued for anybody out there. I'm just
in other words, prior commitments.
No, I just got a lot of doing some trademark stuff. And until I got into that, I really didn't realize how much is involved with that. So.
Oh boy! All right, yeah, I'm exhausted and I'm tired and.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Till next week.
Thank you, Santa.
No. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. All your questions, comments, etc., and your thumbs up. If you have not already, for some weird, strange, crazy reason, hey, look, he did it again.
I still don't know how I do that.
Make sure you go down below, hit like, subscribe, whatever it is, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. We appreciate you. I thank you. And until, hey, you never know. Monday night, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'll do Monday and have people join in. We'll see. We'll see. But if not, we'll be on here after the Royal Rumble.
All right, my man. You have a good one. We'll talk, and hopefully next week's show going into the Rumble will be a lot better, and then hopefully the Rumble will just live up to the expectations.
And if you want a lot better, just go to 2300arena.com. One and done tickets and WrestleCon tickets are on sale now. Until then, see you next week.